Hello everyone, welcome to the third lecture of this online class of ISC Physics. So in today's lecture we are going to start with the last topic of the first chapter that we have already started in the last lecture also, that was spherical mirror. Now in today's lecture basically we focus on the numericals. So we do some numericals based on the mirror formula that we have derived in the last class. So let me tell you what is mirror formula that we have derived in the last class. So it is the relation, it is a mathematical relation between object distance, image distance, and the focal length for spherical mirror of small aperture. So let me write the mirror formula. So your mirror formula that we have derived in the last class can be written for any spherical mirror, that is for any spherical mirror. So how many spherical mirror we have? Two spherical mirror. One is called concave mirror, one is called convex mirror. So it's a relation between the focal length, the object distance, and the image distance of a spherical mirror. So let me tell you the relation. It is the relation of F, that is called focal length, B means image distance, and U means object distance. So it's given by 1 by F equals to 1 by B plus 1 by U. Now this relation, if you remember, in the last lecture we derived for concave mirror, but this relation is even true for convex mirror. But let me tell you, concave mirror form real image, it can form virtual image, whereas convex mirror can only form virtual image. So it is applicable for any of the mirror to find either focal length or object distance or image distance. Now this formula, basically we use in the numericals. But before we go to the numerical, now one of the important term that even we can measure and define is called linear magnification. Now for this linear magnification, so let me define what is linear magnification. So linear magnification is basically defined as the ratio of the size of an image to the size of an object formed by the spherical mirror. That means when spherical mirror is considered, whether it's a convex mirror or concave mirror, the size of an image will not exactly equal to the size of an object. Sometimes you see the image form as real image, sometimes the image form as virtual image, and even sometimes the image size will be smaller than the object, or sometimes the image size will be bigger than the object. So with respect to this size of an image, to the size of an object, we can always define a term known as linear magnification. So let me tell you what is linear magnification. Linear magnification is basically symbolized by small letter m. So we can symbolize linear magnification by small letter m. So linear magnification, as for the statement, is nothing but the size of an image formed by the spherical mirror to the size of an object, of a place in front of spherical mirror. So the ratio of size of an image to the size of an object formed by the spherical mirror with respect to the perpendicular axis, with respect to principal axis, let me tell you, this is called linear magnification. We basically symbolize by letter m. Now this factor play a very important role because the value of linear magnification can even determine the nature of the image, whether the image is real image, whether the image is virtual image. So m is given by size of an image to the size of an what? Object. Now there are certain symbols that we can use. So size of an image I can mark by letter y2. Size of an object I can mark by letter y1. So we are just considering y as the symbol that we are using because size is basically measured on the y-axis. That is, on the coordinate y-axis we take as the size of an image or size of an object. That's why we are considering as y2 as the size of an image and y1 as the size of an what? Object. This measures the linear magnification. So if you look at this relation, linear magnification has no unit. It is a number, it is a pure number. But remember this, the value of linear magnification can be positive or it can be negative. Now when we come to the positive or negative, we basically follow the sign convention. And remember it, in the last class also we have already discussed the sign convention, that is called coordinate geometry sign convention. Now this sign convention even we can apply for the expression of linear magnification that we are going to do for any spherical mirror, whether it's a concave mirror or convex mirror. Okay, now let me derive the expression of linear magnification for concave mirror. Let me take one of the mirror called spherical mirror as concave mirror. Now we can do for convex mirror also, but let me do for concave mirror. You know this is the shape of concave mirror. So I've already drawn in the diagram, that is M1, M2 is a concave mirror having a principal axis. Now this point P is called pole, and there is a center of curvature which is marked by letter C. Now I'm keeping an object of certain size, and that object is OO dash. Now look at the diagram. OO dash is a small object placed in front of a concave mirror. Now even this has a certain size, I can mark this size by Y1. Now Y1 is the size of an object. Now when we follow the sign convention, so let me tell you, one of the third sign convention that we can even apply out here is any length or any size which is measured perpendicular to the principal axis and it is upward perpendicular principal axis is always taken as positive. Now this is the principal axis, this is the size of an object, and it is measured perpendicular upward. This is principal axis and measured perpendicular upward, and this size is always taken as positive. So Y1 is positive. So I've already marked as OO dash is Y1, and that is positive. Now when you keep the object, definitely this mirror forms the image. But let me take the case, I am keeping the object behind the center of curvature. Definitely the image formed by the concave mirror is real image. And what is the nature of real image? Inverted. Now for that I have drawn two rays. One of the ray passes from the object as a parallel ray parallel to the principal axis. Definitely the light reflect and always pass from the focus. And this point is marked as F. So F is the focus of a concave mirror. Now another ray that can also incident on the concave mirror, and this is the ray, I am marking this to incident at the point P, and this point is called pole. Now when this ray incident at the pole, the light definitely reflect by the same angle. Now let me consider if this angle is I, that is the angle of incidence, this angle we can mark as R. So we follow that the laws of reflection, angle of incidence equals to angle of reflection. So definitely the light passes and reflect in this direction. So you can see there are two rays, reflected ray, that can pass after reflecting from the concave mirror. So one is the reflected ray and this another reflected ray. So where they are intersecting? At this point. This point is called point of intersection. So if you drop a perpendicular line, so there is an imaginary line I have drawn, and this is the image formed by the concave mirror of the object, of an object, that is OO dash. So I dash is the image, but what image is this? Real image. Why? It's inverted. So as per the sign convention, any length or any size which is measured perpendicular downward of the principal axis is always taken as negative. So this is the principal axis is measured perpendicular downward. So definitely this image size will be negative. So as for the sign convention, I dash is Y2. We have already marked as the size of an image, but is negative. So size of an image in this case is negative. Now in order to arrive the formula of linear magnification, even we can follow some geometry. That means the geometry of similar triangle. Now we have two triangles which are similar in this diagram. One is the triangle formed by the object with the pole. Okay, let me just put a shaded region. Yes, this is the right angle triangle formed by the object with the pole. So this triangle is OO dash P. This is another triangle which is formed by the image with the pole, and I am again marking with the dotted line just to show that these two triangles are similar. So I follow that from triangles OO dash P and I dash P are similar. You can clearly see that these two triangles are similar. That means they are similar in shape, not in size. So when two triangles are similar, then we know that the ratio of any two corresponding sides are proportional. So let me take the two sides which are known. So one of the side is the size of an object, the perpendicular side, and this another side that is called the size of an image. So let me mark this as OO dash by I dash. This is the perpendicular side of this triangle, and this is the perpendicular side of this triangle. So their corresponding sides ratio is equals to the another two sides I'll take, that is nothing but the distance. OP, now if you look at the diagram, OP is nothing but object distance, U. But as per the sign convention, minus, because we are measuring distance in the left side. So minus U. Your image is, distance is IP. And IP or PI I can mark equals to minus B. Why minus B? Because your distance is also negative. We are measuring on the left side of the pole. So as for these sides, I can even write as OP by IP. So OO dash by II dash equals to OP by IP. So this is the property of similar triangles. So if I apply this property, so I can easily derive the expression of linear magnification. Now let me substitute the values. OO dash, you know it is what? With sign convention plus Y1. II dash is, with sign convention, is minus Y2 equals to OP as per sign convention is minus U. IP or PI is minus B. So you can see plus Y1 by minus Y2 equals to minus U by minus B. So this minus minus cancel out. So I can write as Y1 by Y2 equals to minus U by B. So what I have done out here, I am keeping this left hand side as positive. So this minus can go to the right hand side. So it become minus U by B. But we are measuring linear magnification. So we have already defined what is linear magnification. Is the ratio of the size of an image to the size of an object. So if you look at the diagram, in the figure, Y1 by Y2 is the relation, but we need Y2 by Y1. So what I can do, I can reciprocal both sides. If you reciprocal both sides, you can write Y2 by Y1 equals to minus B by U. So it's coming Y2 by Y1 equals to minus B by U. But what is Y2 by Y1? This is nothing but M. So M equals to minus B by U is the expression of linear magnification. So we can measure linear magnification definitely with the size of an image to the size of an object, but even we can measure in the ratio of the size image distance with the object distance. But with what sign? Minus sign. So M is minus B by U. So this is an important relation of formula that we can even apply now in the numerical problem. Now, this relation even give you a lot of information, especially regarding the nature of the image formed by the spherical mirror, whether it's a concave mirror or convex mirror. Now, M can be positive, it can be negative. Now, let me take the case of concave mirror. So, you know, concave mirror form real image as well as what image? Virtual image, whereas convex mirror can only form virtual image. So, the value of M can be negative or it can be positive. Okay, now let me just tell you that when linear magnification will be positive and when linear magnification become negative. So, for this, let me take the case of concave mirror. Concave mirror just forming a what image? A real image. Suppose if this is the object and there is the image. Now concave mirror, when it form real image, let me just show you with the help of diagram. This is a real image. Real image, this is with size Y1, this is Y2, and this distance is B, image distance. This distance is called U, object distance. So if you follow the sign convention, as for the measurement of linear magnification, B, the image distance as for the sign convention is negative. U, as for the sign convention is also negative. And this is true for concave mirror forming what image? Real image. So as for the relation M equals to minus B by U, now remember this formula is a general formula of linear magnification which is applied to any of the spherical mirror, whether it's concave or convex mirror of any case. But when we measure the linear magnification, we follow the sign convention. Now let me write, minus sign is already there, so B is minus B with U is minus U. So if I cancel minus minus sign, so again coming M equals to minus B by U. So that means this minus sign said that your linear magnification become negative. So when linear magnification become negative? When the image formed by the concave mirror is real image. So remember this, linear magnification for real image is always negative. Now let me show you for concave mirror forming what image? Virtual image also. Okay, let me rub this side. Now similarly for virtual image, let me show you for virtual image. Now you know what is the condition for forming virtual image by a mirror? It always forms behind the mirror. So behind means somewhere out here. Let me take the case somewhere out here. This is the image, and let me keep the object somewhere out here. This is the object. Now if this is the object and this is the pole, then what distance is called? Object distance. If this is the image and the pole, and this distance is called image distance. So as per the sign convention, object distance is negative, image distance is what? Positive. Which means in this particular case of virtual image, B is positive. This side, right side. U is negative. So M, as for the relation, M equals to minus B by U as a general formula, equals to M equals to minus, now B means plus B. So let me rub here only, plus B as for the sign convention. U is minus U. So minus minus, it cancel out and become what? Plus. So M equals to plus B by U, and this plus sign so that linear magnification for concave mirror forming virtual image is always positive. So if the image formed by concave mirror is virtual, the linear magnification is always positive. Now even this can be applied for the last mirror, that is convex mirror. So let me apply this for concave mirror. Sorry, convex mirror. For convex mirror, you know, convex mirror is the only mirror which can form virtual image. It always forms virtual image. Virtual image always on the which side? Right side. Let me take the same diagram by taking convex mirror. So let me show with the help of diagram. This is convex mirror. This because of the shape. This is pole. Now when we keep the object, we keep on the left side. This is the object. Then this distance is called object distance. We mark by letter U. Then definitely image formed by the convex mirror is on the right side, and the size of the image is smaller. Is a virtual image, smaller size. Then this distance is called what distance? Image distance. So even in this particular case of convex mirror forming virtual image, this is a virtual image. B on the right side is positive. You can see in the diagram. U always on the left side, negative. So if B is positive and U is negative, then M also written in the same way as positive. How? Because M equals to minus B by U as the general formula, where M equals to minus, B become positive means plus B. U as per sign convention minus U, so minus minus cancel out. So it become what? Plus. So M equals to plus B by U, which means that the linear magnification for convex mirror, which always form virtual image, is always positive. So from here I can say that convex mirror which form virtual image, real magnification positive, concave mirror which form real image, linear magnification negative, and concave mirror which form virtual image, linear magnification is positive. Okay, now we are going to solve some numerical problem, important numerical problem, because when you solve numerical problems, it definitely helps you to understand better in theory. That means solve more numerical problem, you understand better in theory. So there are some numericals problem that we are going to do based on spherical mirror. So let me do with the first numerical problem. So there is problem number 1. We have problem number 1, and your problem says that an object is placed in front of a concave mirror of radius of curvature 40 centimeter at a distance of 10 centimeter. Find the position, nature, and the magnification. Definitely which magnification? Linear magnification of the image. So we calculate position, nature, and the magnification of the image formed by the concave mirror. So we know what is concave mirror. So let me solve this problem. So let me show you with the help of diagram. This is problem number 1 solution. This is concave mirror. This is concave mirror. Now as for the question, an object is placed in front of a concave mirror. Front means this side. Suppose you are keeping the object somewhere out there. This is an object. In front of concave mirror of radius of curvature 40 centimeter. Now if this is a pole, we know this is a what? Center of curvature. So let me mark this as center of curvature, and that distance is called radius of curvature. So in the diagram, R equals to 40 centimeter. We mark symbol R as radius of curvature, 40 centimeter. But remember this, when we use mirror formula or linear magnification, we must follow the sign convention. So I'm going to follow sign convention out here. We are measuring left side distance, which is negative. So R for concave mirror is negative. But once you calculate, once you know the value of R, that is minus 40 centimeter, we can calculate the value of focal length. So what is focal length? Half the radius of curvature. With what sign? Minus sign, which is 20 centimeter. So what is the half of 40? Minus 20 centimeter. So we know focal length. Now the next part, your object is placed. Now your question said that the object is placed in front of concave mirror of radius curvature at a distance of 10 centimeter. That means you are keeping the object at a distance of 10 centimeter. So definitely if you look at the diagram, let me tell you the fact. Your radius of curvature is 40 centimeter. Your focal is 20 centimeter. Means definitely your object will place not behind the center of curvature. It will place somewhere between focus and the pole. So that means your object must be placed out here. So if you look at the diagram, this is the object which is placed between pole and the focus, because your focal length is 20 centimeter. So that means object must be placed between pole and the focus. So your U, the object distance is 10 centimeter. But we are measuring the distance left side, always negative. So U is minus 10 centimeter, F is minus 20 centimeter. Now the next part that we need to calculate is find the position of image, means what is the image distance. So for image distance, we follow mirror's formula. So what is mirror's formula? Using mirror formula, it is given as 1 by B plus 1 by U equals to 1 by F. So this is the mirror formula. Now we need to calculate B. So it's 1 by B plus 1 by U. What is U with sign convention? Minus 10 equals to 1 by F. What is F with the sign convention? F is minus 20. So to calculate B, all right, B in the left hand side is 1 by B. So plus into minus is minus, but if I take this in the right hand side, it becomes plus. So it will be 1 by 10 plus 1 by 10, and this is already minus 1 by 20. So 10 and 20 we can take as LCM. It's 1 by B equals to 20. So 10 divided to 20 is 2, 2 1s are 2. Minus 20 divided by 20 is 1, 1 into 1, 1. So it's coming 1 by B equals to 1 by 20. So is 1 by B is 1 by 20, but we need B. So to calculate B, B is simply 20 centimeter. Now I calculate the value of B, that is 20 centimeter. Now this value of B says that the image formed by this concave mirror is behind the mirror, not in front of mirror. That means I can show in the diagram also. That means your image formed not this front of mirror, it formed behind the mirror, somewhere out there. It forms somewhere out there at the distance, say 20 centimeter. So the B, the image distance is positive, means it definitely formed behind the mirror. So any image which is formed behind the mirror is always negative, positive, sorry, because that image is always a virtual image. So it is asked in the question also that what is the nature of image? Your nature of the image is virtual. That means this image distance. So image is formed. So let me write. Image is formed at a distance of 20 centimeter behind the mirror. Behind the mirror. So this is the distance. Now what is the nature of image? So definitely your nature of the image is virtual. Why nature is virtual? Because it's from behind the mirror. Now last factor that we can measure even, that is M, linear magnification. So what is M? We know as per the formula is minus B by U. Remember this, M is minus B by U. But we calculate B even by substituting the value of B and U with proper sign. So M equals to minus B with sign plus 20, U as for sign is minus 10 with both centimeter, centimeter. So centimeter, centimeter cancel out. Minus, minus also cancel out. So M becomes plus 2. So remember this, M, the linear magnification, is +2. Now what did it say? It means that the size of an image formed by the concave mirror is double the size of an object, because M is +2. So this is problem number 1. Okay, now we are going to do next problem, that is problem number 2. Yes, your problem number 2 says that a 2 centimeter long object. So what is 2 centimeter long object? It's the size of an object. Is placed at a distance of 100 centimeter from a convex mirror. Now this time we are dealing with convex mirror. Let me show first with the help of diagram. This is convex mirror with the principal axis, and this line is point is called pole. That means your object is placed at a distance of size 2 centimeters. Suppose you are keeping the object out here. So your object is 2 centimeter. So what is 2 centimeter? Is the size of an object, and we have already marked by letter Y1. 2 centimeter size of an object. So following the sign convention, always positive. So this is +2 centimeter. Long object is placed at a distance of 100 centimeter. That means object is placed at a distance 100 centimeter. Means this distance, as we mark by letter U, is called what distance? Object distance, which is 100 centimeter. So U is 100 centimeter. But remember this, whether you do for convex mirror or concave mirror, your object distance is always taken as negative. So U is -100 centimeter. Next, of radius of curvature 50 centimeter. This convex mirror has radius of curvature. Let me mark this. C is center curvature. So this distance is called R, which is radius of curvature. Is how much centimeter? 50 centimeter. So it's always positive because we are measuring on the which side? Right side from the pole. So R is positive. So once you know R, we can even find focal length, which is half the radius of curvature with plus sign. So let me just take the value, which is 25 centimeter. So focal length is half the radius of curvature. Now in this question also, we need to find the position of image. Means you need to find the distance, image distance. So how we can calculate the image distance? By using again mirror formula. So what is mirror formula? So let me write mirror formula. We have a general formula, which is 1 by B plus 1 by U equals to 1 by F. This is mirror formula. We know U, we know F, we can calculate B. Substitute the value. 1 by B plus 1 by U means -100 equals to 1 by F is plus 25. So following the sign convention and multiplying the sign, plus into minus, 1 by 100 equals to 1 by 25. Now we need to calculate B. So I take -1 by 100 in the right hand side. It will be 1 by B equals to 1 by 25 plus 1 by 100. So we can easily take the LCM of 25 and 100. So LCM is 100. So 1 by B equals to 100. So 25 divided to 100, remainder is 4. 4 ones are 4. Plus 100 divided 100 is 1. 1 into 1, 1. So it's coming 4 plus 1 by 100. Which means 1 by B equals to 5 by 100. Yes, I can divide. 5 ones are 5. 5 20s are 100. So it's coming again 1 by B equals to 1 by 20. So if you reciprocal, B is 20 centimeter. So again we are measuring the same image distance, that is 20 centimeter. With what sign? If no sign means plus. But remember this, if the image distance is positive sign means the convex mirror, definitely it forms virtual image. Which side? Right side. It forms right side. It forms somewhere out here. So image form will be somewhere out here. This is the image distance. Next, we need to calculate the nature. So definitely, what is the nature of the image formed by the convex mirror? Virtual. So your nature is virtual image. So your nature of the image is virtual. And the image is formed at a distance of 20 centimeter behind the mirror. And last factor that we need to calculate, the length of the image, or we also call as the size of an image. Yes, for this, let me use the formula of linear magnification. You know, M, as per the definition, is given by Y2 by Y1. That means we can measure linear magnification as the ratio of the size of an image to the size of an object. So substitute the value. But to calculate the value of y2, but we must need to calculate m. So we don't know m, but we can easily calculate m from u and b. So let me write m means minus b by u, no doubt. That means we have two expressions I have derived for linear magnification. M equals to minus b by u. Substitute the value of b and u. M equals to minus b. See what is the value of b? With plus sign 20 centimeter. U is already minus 100. So minus minus cancel out. 21 is 20. 25. So it's coming m equals to plus 1 by 5. So m, linear magnification is always positive and the value is 1 by 5. Let me keep this in what? Fraction. So it is 21 is 20, 25. Yes, y is 25 is 100. So m is plus 1 by 5. But we need to calculate size of the image, of the length of the image, which is nothing but y2. So let me calculate y2 by using the formula. Since m equals to y2 by y1. But what is m? As we have already calculated, 1 by 5 with plus sign. As y2 need to calculate y1. What is y1? Your y1 is already given 2 centimeter. So if you cross multiply, you can calculate y2 equals to 2 by 5. So 2 by 5 is given as 0.4. And this 0.4 is what? Centimeter. So this is centimeter with what sign? Plus sign. Now you can clearly see in the diagram. So your y1 is 2 centimeter. y2 need to calculate. M I have substituted as 1 by 5. If you cross multiply, so it's coming y2 as 2 by what? 5 centimeter means 0.4 centimeter. Now y2, the size of an image is coming smaller than the size of an object. Yes, it is true, because convex mirror always form virtual image of smaller the size of an object. So this is problem number 2. Thank you. Okay, now we do the last numerical from this chapter, then this chapter get over. And that is problem number 3. So this is problem number 3. Your problem says that a concave mirror, again I am dealing with concave mirror, produces real image. Now concave mirror, it form real image as well as virtual image, no doubt. But we are dealing with concave mirror form real image. So concave mirror. Now this question, let me just tell you, is divided into 2 parts. Because a concave mirror form produces a real image of half the size of an object. That means you have a certain object. Suppose let me keep this is an object. And this object has size y1. So I consider let y1 be the size of an object. Now we don't know what is the size of an object. But your size of the image is half the size of an object. So let me write the size of an image, okay, we marked by letter y2, is half the size of an object, means 1 by 2 of y1. So this is given already in the question. y2 is half the y1. But what image the concave mirror is forming? Real image. And you know, when real image is real, the image size is always negative. So as for the sign convention, I am writing y2 negative. Why negative? Because your image is real. So y1 is positive, y2 is negative. So once you know y1 and y2, we can definitely find m, linear magnification, which is m equals to y2 by y1. Now let me substitute the value. y2 with minus and 1 by 2, y1. And y1 is already considered as y1. So this is cancel out. So m is coming as minus 1 by 2. So linear magnification negative, definitely negative. Why? The image is real image. So this is the first part of this question. But it formed real image when the object is placed at 60 centimeter in front of it, means your object distance. Okay, you can see in the diagram, this is object distance at what? 60 centimeter, which means u is 60 centimeter object distance. But what is the sign convention? Negative. Object distance always taken as negative. U is minus 60 centimeter. Now, m, I got minus 1 by 2. U is minus 60 centimeter. Okay. Now, the next part that we are going to deal with, place at 60 centimeter in front of it. Now, where should the object be placed to obtain a virtual image of double the size of an object. Now again in this question you need to calculate object distance. But we calculate object distance in such a place so that it form what image? Virtual image. So for this we must require the focal length. So we first calculate the what length? Focal length. So m is minus 1 by 2, u is minus 60, but even you know that m is also equals to minus b by u. This is another expression of m, minus b by u. So let me substitute m as for the sign convention, minus 1 by 2 minus b. We don't know what is b, but what is u? Minus 60. So this minus minus cancel out. So it's coming minus 1 by 2 equals to b by 60 plus b by 60. We can cancel out. 2 1s are 2, 2 30s are 60. So if you cross multiply, b is coming as 30 centimeter. So in the first part of this question, the image is formed at a distance 30 centimeter in front of the concave mirror, so that it form what image? Real image. Yes, now we know u, we know b. So we calculate f, the focal length, which is much required. So which formula I have to use? Mirror formula, which is 1 by f equals to 1 by b plus 1 by u. So let me substitute the value. 1 by f equals to 1 by b. What is b with sign? Minus 30 plus what is u with sign? And u is already minus 60. So it's 1 by f equals to minus 1 by 30 plus into minus minus 1 by 60. So what is the LCM of 30 and 60? 60. So divide 30 to 60 is 2 times, 2 1s are 2. Minus 60 divided by 60 is 1, 1 into 1, 1. So it's coming 1 by f equals to minus 3 by 60. Yes, but we can cancel it. 3 1s are 3, 3 20s are 60, which means f we can even write as minus 20, which is the focal length of concave mirror. Remember this, concave mirror focal length always negative. Yes, f is minus 20 centimeter, which is fixed. Now this focal length I am going to use the next part of this problem, and that to calculate what? Object distance. So if you look at the question, what we need to calculate? Object distance. Mean where we keep the object so that it obtain the virtual image. Now the second part of this question say that to obtain what image? Virtual image. But this image size is already asked in the question, that double the size of an object. Means y2 is twice of y1. Now y2 the size of an image is double the size of an object. But its virtual image, definitely sign will be plus. So you can write y2 by y1 as plus 2. Yes, now why I am writing y2 by y1? Because y2 by y1 is nothing but m, which is plus 2. So in the second part of this question, when concave mirror form virtual image, m always positive, which is plus 2. But we need to calculate u. So what I do? Again I use the formula out there to find u. Now m, again m is marked by letter minus b by u. Yes, m in this case is plus 2. U, image distance you don't know. B, object distance that we need to calculate, even you don't know u, but we can cross multiply so that it can write b equals to minus 2u. If you cross multiply, b equals to minus 2u. So this is b. Now we know what is focal length for this concave mirror, minus 20 centimeter. So if b is known, f is known, if I substitute this value in the mirror formula, definitely I calculate u. So let's see what happened. 1 by b plus 1 by u equals to 1 by f. Yes, so substitute the value. B with this value minus 2u plus u that we need to calculate is already there, u only. F with minus 20. Yes, let's do the simplification of this. What is the LCM? 2u and u is 2u. Divided to it is minus 1. u divided 2u means 2 plus 2 1s are 2 equals to minus 1 by 20. Yes, now it is 2 minus 1 is 1 by 2u equals to minus 1 by 20. So 2 1s are 2, 2 10s are 20. So if you see the expression is coming 1 by u equals to minus 1 by 10, which means u equals to minus 10 centimeter. Yes, now we got the object distance, which is minus 10 centimeter. And remember this, when you do numerical and calculate object distance, it should always come negative. So this minus sign says that your object is placed at 10 centimeter in front of the mirror. So when you keep the object at 10 centimeter in front of the mirror, definitely it forms virtual image of size double the size of an what? Object. So this is a very important numerical I've solved, because to show that concave mirror can form both real image as well as virtual image. We have completed chapter number 1. Now we are moving to chapter number 2. But today I'm just going to give the brief of this chapter, that what we are going to do even in the next lecture. So we have chapter number 2 in ray optics, and this chapter is called a very common chapter that you have learned even in class 10, but we learned in more details in class 12, that is refraction of light at a what surface? Plane surface. So in this particular chapter, we basically focus on the following topics. That means what is the main objective of this chapter? With the introduction, I'll give the introduction of this chapter, followed by a very important law. Let me tell you a very important law which was formulated by Wilbert Snellers, who was a Dutch physicist or scientist who actually made a law. This law is known as Snell's law. And this is a very important law which actually gives the idea about the refractive index of any medium based with respect to other medium. So in this particular part, Snell's law is there, and after that we basically deal with the concept of refractive index. Next, the next topic that we will discuss is reversibility of light. In this particular topic, we learn that the path of light are reversible to each other, but this reversible light even express a very important relation of refractive indices of any two medium, either as rarer medium or denser medium. Number 4, we deal with the refraction through parallel multiple media. This is another important topic in which you can find numericals from this topic also. That is, refraction can even take place through parallel multiple media. That means more than 2 medium. So we can take especially outer as 3 medium. Then followed by critical angle and total internal reflection. Now you have the idea about critical angle and total internal reflection. That part also added in class 12 also. So we get the idea of critical angle and total internal reflection. Followed by the application of total internal reflection. Yes, the total internal reflection is the phenomenon which can have many applications in our day-to-day life. So I'll tell you one of the important applications of total internal reflection you can find in optical fiber. So on this particular topic, even you can do the project also. Next, even we deal with real depth and apparent depth, and this is the two terms that we can define even with the phenomenon of refraction of light, and basically we focus on numerical. So let me tell you, so in every chapter of ray optics, we need to deal with the numericals. Okay, so today I have just briefed the objective of this chapter number 2. So we continue in the next lecture. Thank you.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Accountancy. Today we will be studying about partnership fundamental, the little part which is left, that was past adjustments, and then we'll be starting with another topic which is goodwill, the concept and valuation of goodwill. So to start with, let us continue with past adjustments. Past adjustments. Now what happens basically is sometimes we tend to go wrong. Sometimes we might omit something. Sometimes we might write something extra. So under that situation, there is an adjustment entry that needs to be passed. Now after preparing the final accounts, this happens. So you cannot rectify the accounts, you cannot just rub off the accounts. So after the accounts are prepared, you tend to pass a rectifying entry. Now under what circumstances these rectifying entries are passed? Supposingly the interest on capital was supposed to be given to the partners, but we tend to forget. Now the partners will not say that don't give me interest on capital. They will say that yes, we want our interest on capital. So instead of just rectifying the accounts, we pass an adjustment entry. And that adjustment entry is a mutual adjustment between the partners. So one partner must have got something extra, the other must have got something less. So the one who has got extra will give it back so that that extra could be given back to the partner who got less. So there are chances higher or lower rate of interest is given or is allowed when it should not have been given. At times this happens. It is not given in the provision, but we tend to give interest on capital. So this is a wrongdoing done. So we need to rectify this. So it is rectified by passing a journal entry. And that is a journal entry which is passed amongst the partners in their capital account. Let us understand this better through a question. The question says, Abram, Bhavesh, Charan and Deepu are partners. So A, B, C, D, they are partners. The capital accounts on 1st April 2019 were 3 lakh, 5 lakh, 8 lakhs and 10 lakhs respectively. So these were the capitals. After the accounts for the year 31st March 2020 has been prepared, it was noticed that interest at 5% per annum as provided by the deed has not been credited to the partners. That means the interest that should have been given to the partners, we have not given them the interest. Now, what is the interest that is coming out to be? Let us see that. 5% of 3 lakh. So, how do we solve this? Amount to be credited. This was the amount that the partners should have got in terms of interest on capital. So A's interest on capital comes out to be 15,000. B's interest comes out to be 25%. This is 5% of the capital invested by them. C's interest comes out to be 40,000 and D's interest comes out to be 50,000. So 5% interest on capital was to be provided. Pass necessary journal entry to rectify the above error. Now we don't see any profit sharing ratio given amongst the partners. There is no profit sharing ratio. So in case there is no ratio given, the profits will be shared amongst the partners equally. That is 1:1:1:1 shall be the ratio here. So interest on capital was 15,000, 25,000, 40,000 and 50,000. When we calculate this, it comes out to be amount already credited. That means this is the amount which we have already given to the partners and it comes out to be 1,30,000 has been divided equally amongst the partners. So when you calculate this, the entry comes out something like this. When you calculate this, it comes out to be 4 3s are 12, 4 2s are 8, 4 5s are 20. So 32,500 will be given, has been given to each partner. 32,500, 32,500 and 32,500. What does this mean? It means A should have got 15,000, but he has been given 32,500. B should have got 25,000 and he is given 32,500. C should have got 40,000 and he is getting 32,500, whereas D should have got 50,000 and he is already given 32,500. Whatever is the variation will be adjusted amongst the partners. So what is the difference? If you deduct this, you will find this is coming out to be 17,500 in the negative balance. Over here, if you do it again, this is coming out to be 7,500 as a negative balance. Vice versa, for C, it is 7,500 positive, and for D, it is 17,500 positive. So the figures which are coming as negative, it means we have to take back the amount from A and B and give the same amount to C and D. So the negative figures will be debited and the positive figures will be credited. So here goes the adjustment entry. The negative figures are being debited. It is Abram's capital debit, Bhavesh's capital debit, to Charan's capital, to Deepu's capital. And the figures you see will come out to be equivalent. Means whatever is the negative will be the positive again. So like this, we have to solve the adjustment entry. And let us see one more question given here. Ankur, Bhavesh and Chaman shared profits in the ratio. The profits were 7,50,000 in the ratio 2:2:1 without providing for interest on Bhavesh's loan. Now what does this mean? It means Bhavesh had given a loan of 5 lakhs to the firm. Now if a partner gives a loan to the firm and there is nothing mentioned in the deed, interest on loan has to be given by the firm at the rate of 6% per annum. But the firm forgot to give that. The firm has not given any interest on loan to Bhavesh. And the partnership deed is silent on profit sharing ratio. Now if the deed is silent on the profit sharing ratio, profits have to be shared equally amongst the partners. So how do we go about this? Let us see. Ankur, Bhuvnesh and Chaman shared profits in the ratio 2:2:1. So amount already credited. They were given in the ratio 2:2:1. And how much was distributed to them? 7,50,000 was given to them in the ratio 2:2:1. If we calculate this, let us see how much do we get. It is coming out to be 7,50,000 into 2 by 5 will give you 3 lakhs, and 1,50,000. So this has been given by the firm to them. Whereas the deed is silent on interest on loan and the deed is silent about profit sharing ratio. So when the deed is silent about profit sharing ratio, the ratio has to be given equally. But they are sharing it in the ratio 2:2:1, which is wrong. So what are we supposed to do now? Amount to be credited. This is the amount that we have to give it to the partners. Now interest on loan. Interest on loan is not an appropriation. Interest on loan is a charge against profit and loss account. So what are we supposed to do? Interest on loan will be given at 6% to B, and the amount was 5 lakhs. So 6% of 5 lakhs comes out to be 30,000. So B was supposed to get 30,000. Now the profit given in the question is 7,50,000. After giving away the interest, which is a charge against profit, the amount left is 7,20,000. 7,20,000 has to be given to the partners equally. So if we divide this by 3, we get 2,40,000. That means the profits that each partner should have got was 2,40,000, 2,40,000 and 2,40,000. This should have been the real picture. B should have got 6% on his loan, plus the partners should have got 2,40,000 each. But what was the wrong done by the firm? The firm had given 3 lakh and 1,50,000 to A, B and C. So how does the entry go about this? Just let us see. The entry will be Ankur's capital account debited by 60,000. Now how do we get this 60,000? Just check out. Over here, if you deduct the figure, you get 60,000. And 60,000 is coming as a negative figure. So if the figure comes negative, we debit the account. So Ankur's capital has been debited. Bhuvnesh's capital. Now in terms of profit, Bhuvnesh also should have got 2,40,000. On the contrary, he gets 3 lakhs. So his account also will be debited by 60,000. Chaman should have got 2,40,000, but he only gets 1,50,000. That means 90,000 should be given to Chaman. So Chaman's account should be credited. Chaman's account is credited. And in terms of interest on loan, a partner is entitled to get the interest on loan. So his account is credited as to loan by Bhuvanesh account. That comes out to be 30,000. So this 30,000 should be credited to Bhuvanesh's account. So this is the adjustment entry. And there are various factors. There could be interest on drawings, there could be commission, there could be salary. So all these figures are added together, and then ultimately it is distributed in their amount already credited in the profit sharing ratio. Whatever debits you get is debited, whatever credits you get is credited. The negative figures are debited, the positive figures are credited. So this was all about adjustment. This was all about past adjustments. Now let us take up another topic, and that is goodwill. Now, we've heard about goodwill. We've heard about reputation. Goodwill is a good name because of maybe your high quality, because of your sales services, or because of the reputation that you've been carrying on because of your ancestors. So goodwill fetches you more of profit. Hence, it is an intangible asset. You cannot see that asset, but that asset unknowingly is giving you extra profit. So what could be the example? If the enterprise has rendered good services to its customers, the customers will be satisfied from the quality of service, which in turn will bring higher sales and higher profits. Every organization works for higher profits. So that is the main aim. And if it is because of goodwill, goodwill is treated as an asset. But we cannot see goodwill, hence it is an intangible asset. Now, why do we need to value goodwill? There are certain situations, there are circumstances in which we need to value goodwill. The first being when there is a change in profit sharing ratio. Supposingly, the profit sharing ratio was 1:1:1, and later on, the partners want to change the profit sharing ratio to 2:2:1. So there is a change. Under such circumstances, goodwill needs to be valued. Next is when a new partner is admitted. If a new partner comes into picture, the valuation of goodwill has to be done, and the new partner is going to bring in his share of goodwill. Why? Because when he is coming into the firm, he will get the benefit of the goodwill also. He actually has not done anything in bringing up the reputation of the company, but because the company has been prolonged, it is going on for a big time, for a very long time, so he will be entitled to get the profits. So if he gets the profit, he has to bring in his share of goodwill and give it to the old partners. When a partner retires or dies, when partnership firm is sold as a going concern, if I want to sell my partnership firm, or there are two partners, we want to sell a partnership firm to someone, we have to value goodwill. When two or more firms amalgamate, when two firms come together as one, under such circumstances, the goodwill is valued. When a partnership firm is converted into a company, under this situation also, the goodwill needs to be valued. So these are the places, or these are the circumstances under which you need to value goodwill. Now, what are the various methods of valuation of goodwill? It has major three methods. The first being the average profit method. Now, average profit method is bifurcated as simple average profit and weighted average profit. Second being the super profit method, and the third is the capitalization method. Under the capitalization method also we have two subparts. First being capitalization of average profit, and the second is capitalization of super profit. We will be doing each aspect in detail, so please see. Okay, the average profit method. How do we calculate average? Average. This is, if we have to calculate the average of 2 years, you add and then you divide it by 2. You have to add the average of 2 years. So 1 plus 1, there were 2 years, so you divided this by 2, and by doing this, you get the average. So similar goes here, when average normal profit is equal to total normal profit upon number of years, and goodwill will be average profit into number of years of purchase. Let us take a small example to understand this better. Goodwill of a firm is valued at 3 years purchase of 4 years average profit. Now before we move ahead, let us understand what is number of years of purchase. Now what happens, the current year's profit, let us assume every year there is a hike of 10% in the profit. So the current year's profit will be considered as base. And when I am admitting a partner, I admit the partner saying it is 3 years of purchase. That means I expect the profits of the firm to continue at least in the similar manner for 3 years. That is the number of years of purchase. So here in the question, the profits in the previous years are 15,000, 11,000, 18,000 and 16,000. So 4 years profits have been given to you. You add the profits 15,000 plus 11,000 plus 18,000 plus 16,000 and you divide it by 4. Whatever answer you get, that becomes your average profit. Now, that was the average profit. But how to calculate goodwill? Goodwill is average profit into number of years of purchase. So the average profit came out to be 15,000 and number of years of purchase has been given to you in the question, which is 3. So average profit into number of years of purchase. So 45,000 will be the value of your goodwill. So this was about the average profit method. Now, the second aspect of average profit method is weighted average. Weighted average means every year you assign weights. Now, weights assigned, let us understand this through an example. The profits of the firm for the last 5 years, that means they are talking about 5 years profits. First year, it was 40,000, second year 48,000, third year 60,000, fourth year 50,000, and the fifth year is 36,000. You will assign weights. Weights have been assigned. So the first year you've assigned 1, the second year you assign 2, third year it's 3, fourth year is 4, and the last year is 5th. It has been mentioned, we assign weights and then we multiply the profits with the weight. When we multiply the profits with the weight, we get 40,000 into 1 gives you 40,000, 48,000 into 2 gives you 96,000, 60,000 into 3 gives you 1,80,000, 50,000 into 4 gives you 2 lakhs, and 36,000 into 5 gives you 1,80,000. So this is the weighted profit because we've multiplied the weight with the profit of each year. Now when we do the total, it comes out to be 6,96,000. Now if you remember, in the average profit method, that was the previous topic that we did, the previous average profit method, we divided it by 4 because we had 4 years. But now what will we do? We will divide it by 15 because that is the total of the weights that we have got, and when we divide it by 15 we get 46,400. So 46,400 is the weighted average profit. Now what is goodwill? Weighted average profit into number of years of purchase will give you the goodwill. So over here in the question, the number of years of purchase given is 3 years. So weighted average profit into 3, that is 46,400 into 3 will give you 1,39,200. And 1,39,200 is your goodwill. So these were 2 methods on which with the average method and the weighted average profit method. If the question is silent, we can just follow the average profit method. Now, let us switch on to the other method, which is super profit method. Now, super profit, by the word itself, we understand super is more than average or more than actual. So, the formula for calculating super profit is actual or average profit minus normal profit. Now we have understood what average profit is. Let us understand what normal profit is. Supposingly a trader, he knows that in his trade, the profit which is earned normally is 10%. And he started his business so that he could earn a profit of 10%. So let's assume he invested 2 lakh rupees in his business and the normal profit that he expected was 10%. So he expected a profit to be 20,000. His normal profit should have been 20,000, but it is not necessary. He can earn much more beyond that. So let's assume the average profit came out to be 30,000. This was the average profit. So if the average profit came out to be 30,000 and his normal profit is 20,000, his super profit will be 10,000. How? Super profit is equal to average profit minus normal profit. So average profit is 30,000, normal profit is 20,000. So the super profit will be 10,000. Now how do we calculate goodwill? Goodwill is super profit into number of years of purchase. Number of years of purchase is given to you in the question. So first of all, you calculate the super profit and then super profit into number of years of purchase will give you the goodwill. Just see this with an example. A firm earned net profits during the last 3 years. So last 3 years profits have been given. The capital investment of the firm is 60,000. Normal return on capital is 10%. Calculate value of goodwill on the basis of 3 years of purchase of average super profit for last 3 years. That means we have to calculate the super profit first. So in order to calculate the super profit, we need the average profit and we need the normal profit. Average profit can be calculated by adding the 3 profits and dividing it by 3. So 18,000 plus 20,000 plus 22,000 divided by 3 gives you 20,000. So 20,000 is your average profit. Now talking about normal profit, the investments are 60,000 and normal rate of return is 10%. So normally in such a business, the profit is 10%. So what is 10% of 60,000? 10% of 60,000 is 6,000. We have the average profit, we have the normal profit. So now we calculate the super profit. Super profit is average profit minus normal profit. Hence it is 20,000 minus 6,000. So whatever we get towards the end, that is 14,000, that becomes your super profit. So super profit into number of years of purchase. So number of years of purchase is 3. So 14,000 into 3 gives you 42,000. So 42,000 becomes your goodwill. So this is how we calculate goodwill when we have to do it on the basis of super profit method. We calculate the average profit, we calculate the normal profit, we deduct the normal profit by the average profit in order to get the super profit. And super profit into number of years of purchase is the value of goodwill. Now, the last topic of valuation of goodwill is capitalization of average profit. We know how to calculate the average profit. We add the profits of say last 4 years, divided by 4, and whatever answer we get, that is the average profit. Now calculate average normal profit earned. This is the first step. The second step being calculate capitalized value of the firm by using the formula given below. Now capitalized value of the firm. Capitalized value means average profit into 100 upon normal rate of return. This is the capitalized value of the business. So capitalized value is average profit that we have already calculated into 100 upon normal rate of return. Normal rate of return will be given to you in the question. So like this, we calculate the capitalized value of the business. Now, we have to determine the net assets in the business. Net assets can be found out by calculating the total assets minus external liability. Net asset can be calculated as total assets minus external liability. So whatever assets we possess, out of those assets, if we give away what belongs to the outsiders, whatever is left is our net asset. So from the capitalized value of the business, if you deduct the net asset, you will get the value of goodwill. So goodwill is capitalized value of the business minus net assets, which will definitely be there in the question. Let us understand this better with an example. The example says a firm earned 60,000 as profit, the normal rate of return being 10%. Assets of the firm are 7,20,000 excluding goodwill, and liabilities are 2,40,000. So what is the total asset? The total asset is 7,20,000. What are the liabilities? It is 2,40,000. So what will be the net asset over here? The net asset would be 7,20,000 minus 2,40,000. That will give you 4,80,000. So your net asset comes out to be 4,80,000. Total capitalized value of the firm we need to calculate. So average profit into 100 upon normal rate of return. The average profit has been given to you in the question as 60,000. So 60,000 into 100 upon 10. Why into 100 upon 10? Because it is average profit into 100 upon normal rate of return. Your average profit is 60,000 into 100 and your normal rate of return is 10. So if we calculate this, it comes out to be 6 lakhs. This is the capitalized value of the business. 6 lakh is the capitalized value of the business. From 6 lakh, if we deduct the net asset, you will get the value of the goodwill. Now, the net asset came out to be 4,80,000. So, out of 6 lakh, if we deduct 4,80,000, we are left out with 1,20,000. Hence, 1,20,000 is the value of goodwill. This is what we got here. Goodwill is 6 lakhs minus 4,80,000, which gave you 1,20,000. So, this is how we calculate goodwill by the capitalization of average profit. The last topic for today is capitalization of super profit. Now, super profit we know is average or actual profit minus normal profit. So, we need to capitalize on the super profit. The formula is simple. Calculate the average profit. Calculate super profit. How do we calculate super profit? Average profit minus normal profit. Goodwill is super profit into 100 upon normal rate of return. This is when we are capitalizing average profit and capitalizing super profit, we follow this. Super profit into 100 upon normal rate of return. When we capitalize the average profit, we followed average profit into 100 upon normal rate of return. So, let us understand this through an example. Average profit of the firm is 1,50,000. You don't have to calculate average profit here. It is already given in the question. Further, they say total tangible assets in the firm are 14 lakhs and outside liabilities are 4 lakhs. Total tangible assets means these are the total assets of the business. So, total assets minus outside liabilities, which is 4 lakhs. So, 14 lakhs minus 4 lakhs. 10 lakhs will be your net asset. So, your net asset comes out to be 10 lakh. Net asset you can say, or you can say your capital employed. This is the money that has been invested by you, or the capital, it belongs to you. So that comes out to be 10 lakhs. In the same type of business, the normal rate of return is 10% of the capital employed. The capital employed is 10 lakhs. 10% of 10 lakhs comes out to be 1 lakh. So the normal profit here is 1 lakh. What is your average profit? 1,50,000. What is your normal profit? It is 1 lakh. So what will be the super profit? Super profit is average profit minus normal profit. Your average profit was 1,50,000. Your normal profit is 1 lakh. So 50,000 becomes your super profit. So goodwill is super profit into 100 upon normal rate of return. Hence 50,000 into 100 upon 10. If you calculate, you get 5 lakhs. So 5 lakhs is the value of goodwill. So this was all about goodwill. It is how you evaluate goodwill, how you solve questions. It has covered up all aspects. So there are questions, please keep solving, and then we'll meet again next week. Thank you.
Hello children, and welcome back to another session of ISC Sociology online video lectures. If in our previous session we learned about kinship, the types of kinship and the degrees of kinship, today I would like to continue with the lesson with the kinship usages. Now what are kinship usages? It says here that kinship usages refers to certain behaviors and attitudes practiced among individuals belonging to certain kin groups. Now, when I am talking about behaviors and practices, like for example, our societies have different sets of traditions and customs and folkways and mores, etc. Therefore, every society has some set of behavior that they practice, especially amongst the individuals of that particular kin group. Such behaviors can be found, like I said, it can be found in all societies. Therefore, I have written it out here. It can be found in primitive. By primitive, I mean the early societies. We can also find it in the modern society, meaning it was always practiced for a long time. And till today, it is being practiced, and most probably the continuation will also be there regarding its practice. Now, you have to study about 6 different kinship usages, which I have made in this particular diagram. I will be starting with the first one. We have 6 usages of avoidance, joking relationship, covade, amitate, avunculate, and last but not the least, technonymy. So these are the 6 sets of behaviors. These are the 6 sets of do's and don'ts regarding the practices that we have to follow as an individual of the society. I will deal with each of these usages in detail. So let me begin with the first one, that is avoidance. Now, when do we use the word avoid? We usually use it to mean, avoid means stay away from, refrain from. Like sometimes the doctor also says, avoid oily food or avoid fatty food, meaning do not, all right, eat those types of food. So here, what does the society tell you? Whom to avoid and whom not to avoid. So in avoidance, some societies, individuals are expected to maintain distance or a formal relationship. We have a number of kins. In my previous lessons also, I said we have so many different social roles to play. But the society will not allow you to be informal, to be casual with each and every one. There are certain rules which are set for us. You have to be formal with some group. You can be informal with some other group. So therefore, the kind of rule that is set for us, where we have to maintain distance, where we have to be respectful, where we have to be formal, this behavior that is said to us is known as avoidance. Such relationship, now who is supposed to avoid whom? Like I said, we have to avoid certain kin members. So in society, both primitive as well as modern, who is expected to avoid whom? It's written here, mother-in-law and son-in-law, father-in-law and daughter-in-law, and sometimes the avoidance also exists between the brother and the sister. Now, when I am talking about avoiding each other, it does not mean that you run away from each other or you hide from each other or you don't look at each other's face at all. It doesn't mean that. It simply means that you have to maintain distance, that you have to maintain a very formal relationship. Of course, the times have changed because for many of you, you might be wondering here, mother-in-law and son-in-law, because in today's time, mother-in-law and son-in-law do not maintain a distance. They're not required to. They are more like friends. They are so close to each other. Father-in-law and daughter-in-law also, times have already changed. The society has adopted new laws. But this was once upon a time practiced where a certain distance is expected to be maintained, and later I will tell you the reason for it also. Such usages were both more prevalent in modern as well as primitive society. Now, I would also like to explain to you, now you might have found this behavior very strange, so therefore I would like to give you the various explanations put forward by some of the anthropologists why this kind of behavior was practiced. For example, if I have to quote E.B. Tyler, E.B. Tyler gave his own explanation. Tomorrow you might come up with your own explanation as well. But we will look at a series of explanations given by some experts, the reason, exclusively for the reasons behind the practice of avoidance. So Tyler, he says, he attempted for the first time to explain the reason behind the practice of avoidance among primitive community. When he visited, when he used to do a survey, and he happened to spend some time with the primitive communities, he found this strange behavior in them of avoiding mother-in-law, avoiding the son-in-law, father-in-law, avoiding the daughter-in-law. So he tried to come up with his own explanation. He says, according to him, in matriarchal families of earlier times, the son-in-law used to stay in the wife's family, and as a stranger to that house, he avoided the mother-in-law. So, the likely explanation given by Tyler is, most of the societies once upon a time was matriarchal in nature. Matriarchal meaning where the mother is considered as the head of the family. So if the mother is the head of the family, naturally, the females occupy a very important position in that society. The laws of the matriarchal society, one of the laws is such that after marriage, it is the husband who comes to stay over in the wife's house. It's not like our patriarchal society. Unlike our society, the girls will move in to the husband's house. But this was different. So Tyler says in the ancient societies, which were matriarchal in nature, since the husband had to go, or here in this case, the son-in-law had to go to the wife's house, he felt he writes this word over here, a stranger. He felt awkward. He felt like an outsider coming to the wife's family for the first time. So naturally, when you're an outsider, when you feel awkward, when you're not comfortable with that group, you try to maintain distance. So probably this practice, right, it might have continued for some time, and this behavior also came into existence where they considered that the in-laws will have to avoid or maintain a distance either between the son-in-law or with the daughter-in-law. Then it also says here, this was Tyler's explanation. Now I will go to the next explanation of Fraser. Now, earlier there was a chapter on magic, all right? Along with religion, you also had to study magic, but for some years that topic has been scrapped off. If you have to study magic, then you definitely have to study the works of Fraser. Especially, he has written a beautiful book called Golden Bough on Magic. So Fraser also attempted to explain the reason for avoidance, and he says, in some primitive tribes, brother-sister avoidance were common. He took the example of the Ceylonese tribe and the Trobriand Islanders amongst the people. No relation between brothers and sister was allowed, probably due to the prevention of sexual intimacy between the two opposite sexes. So when Fraser is trying to explain, like before, just a while ago, I showed you avoidance. And I also remember telling you that avoidance not only existed between the people who are related by marriage, but also between the brother and sister. You were expected to maintain a distance. Here we have Fraser trying to explain the reason why. And he says that even among the primitive communities, they did not allow brother and sister to come close to each other because they felt that it could lead to some kind of intimacy, some kind of closeness, which might again give some problems later on. Therefore, after a certain age, the brother and the sister were asked to maintain a distance. This also happens in modern community. Because you have often noticed, even if you have your own brothers and sisters also, you have noticed that when you are growing up, then you grow up together, then you share your toys, maybe you share the same room, etc. But after a certain age, the parents will not tell you directly that stay away from your brother or stay away from your sister. But in somewhere, they might be giving you a clue or a hint that you belong to the opposite sexes. That since you belong to the opposite sexes, then a distance has to be maintained just to avoid the sexual intimacy. So this has been the explanation given by Fraser. The next explanation is by Sigmund Freud. Now, Sigmund Freud, we study more about him in psychology than in sociology. But we will try to look at his explanation as well. Sigmund Freud also had the same kind of feeling. He also felt that it could be the closeness of the two opposite sexes which might create danger in the family. And he says that sexual attraction between boys and girls was obvious, irrespective of the social relationship, and infantile sexual passion of the parents of the opposite sex is quite normal according to him. So he also tries to explain it to us from a very psychological point of view. He says that intimacy, liking, fondness, closeness between two opposite sexes is very common. And again, here we are not talking about outsiders, but we are talking about inside the family. So inside the same family, a brother and sister, if they belong to two opposite sexes, and if they develop a close relationship or they develop some kind of intimacy, this might create, or maybe a kind of, the social order might be disrupted. So in order to maintain that social order, what he explains is that society might have come up with this particular behavior of avoidance. Then we have Lowy, who felt avoidance rules are attached to daughter-in-law, who comes from another background and has to adjust with new social, cultural and moral attitudes. Consequently, she remains alien to the new family for some time to avoid any probable sexual harassment from the male members of this particular family. So we spoke about Tyler a while ago. Tyler tried to explain it from the matriarchal point of view. He spoke about a son-in-law, right, feeling awkward in the wife's family. But what about the daughters who get married and go to their husband's family? They also felt left out. They also felt awkward. And therefore here we have Lowy's explanation, which says that the daughters also, they felt awkward. That was a different issue altogether. But she could also be a victim of sexual harassment. That is the reason why they felt that a kind of distance between the father-in-law and the daughter-in-law could have been maintained. Here I am giving you 4 probabilities, 4 reasons as to why these behaviors were practiced. You will find a number of reasons given by other anthropologists as well. Tomorrow you might come up with your own reason. But when we are studying this usage, this kinship usage of avoidance, then what we need to understand is why such a behavior was practiced. And again, I'm coming to you. You might find it a bit strange, because what happens here is that in modern societies, such practices are not followed. Again, I'm repeating, we have seen extreme closeness between mother-in-law and son-in-law. Very, very free, casual attitude amongst the in-laws and also the son or the daughter, etc. And brother and sister also, of course, they maintain distance. At the same time, they also maintain some kind of closeness with each other. Now we move on to the next usage, which is joking relationship. Now, joking relationship related to jokes. All of you have heard about jokes. Now, such relationships are allowed and sanctioned by the society. It exists between wife and a husband's younger brother, a husband and his wife's younger sister. The relationship is informal, intimate, very open, and also very casual. So let me explain to you what is joking relationship. If the society asks you to avoid certain members of the society, the same society also expects you, also allows you, permits you, sanctions you to maintain some kind of closeness with some of the kin members. Now, it might be very surprising. Sometimes the society will tell you stay apart, and sometimes the same society is telling you to come close to one another. And again, just like for avoidance, for joking relationship also, we have various reasons. Here, who is expected to be very close to one another? I have written it out here. Wife and her husband's younger brother. All right? So you have the wife, the husband is there, but the younger brother. In Hindi, in Nepali, we refer to them as the devar, the younger one. They are expected to be close to each other. Even between the husband and the wife's younger sister. So in most of the Bollywood movies, you must have seen that there's a lot of singing and dancing going on, or a lot of games are also played. That ice-breaking session also takes place before the marriages, right? They are done. Then we also have seen there is, especially in the Indian society also, the custom of hiding the shoes of the brother-in-law and asking him for money, etc. So during the marriage ceremony, you see a lot of fun, dance, and all these entertainment programs coming along. The reason is you want to break the ice between the two groups. You want to be as comfortable with each other as possible. Here, the society is asking the husband and his wife's younger sister, as well as the wife and the husband's younger brother, to be very close to one another. How close? By close, I mean you can be extremely open to each other. You can share anything under the sun. You can even crack raw jokes. You can even be so intimate. And the reason, now we are coming to the reason why they are asking them to do this is, the purpose of such usage was to consider the husband's younger brother or the wife's younger sister as, this is the word, potential mate. What do I mean by potential mate? And in case of the death of any spouse. Potential mate meaning likely. Like in football matches also, you have a spare player. All right? In case somebody has an injury or somebody cannot play throughout the match, then you already have somebody booked over there. Similarly, what happened, the ancient societies also thought that in case of a death of a partner, let's say the husband dies, so the wife becomes a widow. And if she becomes a widow at a very young age, everybody feels she needs to get a second chance. So, again, in ancient Indian societies, like I'm giving you an example, the practice was, once you are a widow, then you have to go to a widow ashram. But to have a second chance, again, she has to meet somebody, she has to be comfortable with somebody. Society would not allow that. And most importantly, if they already had a child, it was very, very difficult to find a very good husband who would own that child as well. So what happened was that if there was already a good relationship with the husband's younger brother or the devar, then she is very free, she is very frank, she is very comfortable. In that case, if the husband died, it was very, very easy to get the wife married to the husband's younger brother. Same even with the wife's sister. In case of the wife's death, and if you already have a child, from where are you going to get a new mother? Who would come? Or whether that mother is going to take care of the child or not. A number of problems used to crop up. So the society thought, in that case, if we allow a very free and very intimate and very casual relationship to exist between these individuals, then in case of a death, now this is again exceptional, it's not that you have to get married, but in case of a death, then you already had a potential mate. Now the other interesting part about joking relationship is, in some tribal societies, the relationship existed between grandparents and grandchildren, which developed, and then they also ended up marrying each other. Now this is very strange. We can understand the equation between the wife and the husband's younger brother, etc. But this is a very strange equation between the grandparents and the grandchildren. Again, the anthropologists have tried to find out a reason, and this is what they say, that in some of the societies, parents are very strict, especially when it comes to children. And children were very scared to speak out, or they're scared that the parents might beat them up. So they used to start hiding things. They're not like the relationship that the parents and the children share today. It was very, very strict and rigid kind of relationship. So what happened was, in that case, if the parents are strict, the grandchildren came closer to the grandparents. Now, many of you who have grandparents, you know, right, how they pamper you, how they take care of you, how they keep your secrets, how they give you money without anybody, knowing about it, etc. And they hide all your faults, and they are there to rescue you in case you're getting beaten up, etc. So grandparents played a very vital role, especially in the lives of grandchildren. Slowly, this kind of free and frank relationship started developing. And it went to a certain extent where, again, if I have to quote Tyler or Fraser, this thing of opposite sexes. So probably the grandfather developed a fondness for the granddaughter, or the grandmother became very close to the grandson. And so much so, you will find it very, very surprising also, that sometimes they ended up marrying each other also. Not only that the closeness was there, but grandchildren ended up marrying their grandparents. Remember what Sigmund Freud said, at the end of the day, we are just simple man and women. We belong to opposite sexes. And sometimes when that liking or fondness develops, then we do not see any kind of relationship also. So maybe this kind of fondness led to the marriage of the grandparents along with the grandchildren also. This behavior is known as joking relationship. Now, in our society, we do not have this behavior of grandparents marrying grandchildren, but definitely we do follow the behavior of this kind of free and frank attitude towards the wife and husband's younger brother, and also the husband and the wife's younger sister. In Sanskrit, especially when I'm referring to the marriage of the wife and husband's younger brother, it is called debaran. Debaran coming from the word devar, right? So where you marry your devar, etc. Now coming to the third usage. Again, another interesting usage, another interesting behavior. It's called cowbait. Remember, children, at the beginning of the lecture, I said this is one of the most interesting subjects. And here you are coming to know about various cultures and various groups, etc. Apart from your own culture and tradition, this gives you a kaleidoscopic view about the other cultures as well. So when we come to cow weight, let us take a look at this another interesting usage. Usage is often practiced by tribal societies of the northeast India. Everybody has heard about these societies, I presume. One is Khasi and the other one is Garo. We have the Khasi Hills, the Garo Hills, etc. And there are some, two most, I think, significant tribes in the northeast, Khasis and Garos. Now, what is this? During the expectancy period of a wife, the husband was expected to follow certain behavior patterns. He was not allowed to leave the village, wash clothes, had to eat bland diet, and be with the wife during the difficult times. And then later I'll come to the reasons. So let me explain to you what is cow weight. Cow weight was this kind of practice specially designed for men folk. And it was practiced, now when I'm talking about Khasi and Garo society, naturally they are matriarchal societies of northeast India. Again, talking about matriarchal meaning, here the women is the most important member of the family. So after marriage, earlier the custom was sometimes when the wife was expecting, then the husband, if he doesn't want to stay with that particular wife, he could leave the wife and cross seas and ocean and run away and disappear. Such kind of practices were also there. And the wife and the child was left behind just like that. So the society came up with this particular behavior or practice. As soon as the wife was found to be expecting, then throughout that 9 months of expectancy period, the man had to follow certain taboos, certain restrictions, do's and don'ts. And these are some of the taboos, these are some of the restrictions. Number one, he's not allowed to cross the seas and oceans. That means you cannot run away from that particular village. Throughout that period, you have to stay. So this was a taboo. Second, you had to go through the pains that the wife was going through during that period. So you have very, very plain kind of diet. You also do not wash clothes, right? You also had to pretend as if you were sick, etc. And then later what happened is when the 9-month period was over, since you have already been through that journey, and the 9-month period is over and the child is born, this did the trick. Because most of the men who ran away, they were irresponsible men. They didn't want to take the responsibility both of the wife and the children. But when a husband stays with the wife for full 9 months, looks after her, goes through her pain in his own manner, then he also realizes what it is to become a father. I think mothers know what it is to become mother, but fathers did not know. Husbands did not know. So therefore, this was more of a learning time. Now again, this is very funny. Most of the children might be thinking that in Northeast, now men are doing all this. What is the reason behind it? Now these are the probable reasons. Such practices and behaviors were followed to strengthen the relationship between man and women. Now this relationship between man and woman is the foundation of all social relationships. I have also explained in my previous video when I spoke about affinal kins, when we spoke about the consanguinal family which is born out of the relationship between man and women. They are the foundation stones. And if the foundation is weak, then the whole structure will just collapse like a house of cards. So therefore, look at the ideas or look at the intentions of these tribal groups. First thing they felt was, for in any family, what we need to strengthen is the relationship between man and women, meaning husband and wife. So cow weight was giving enough time. By practicing this behavior, the man was getting enough time to come closer to the wife. And the wife was also getting enough time to spend with her husband, making this man-women relationship very strong, which would later blossom into the parent, that is the father and the mother kind of relationship. The practice reminded the man of his responsibilities as a husband and also as a father. So this is almost like a training camp. You are becoming a husband first, and when you know what your wife goes through, naturally the outcome will be, you will also realize how difficult it is to become a father. So you become responsible towards your children. The next, the man came closer to the child. This is very important. In most of our societies, a child is born, the husband does not even know about it, the husband doesn't even know the pains that the wife is going through. But in this society, they wanted the man to come closer to the child. And father-child relationship is also very, very important. In most of the societies, the child spends a lot of time with the mother. Every time we feel the mother is responsible for everything. But here, the father also had to take the onus. And this helped make the family strong. So once I'm repeating, if husband-wife relationship is strong, parent-children relationship will automatically become very, very strong. Such practices show the influence of matrilineal society. Now you might be thinking, my father never stayed for 9 months. My father never has to practice such taboos, etc. My father never went through such kind of usage, because 99% of us belong to patrilineal society. Our society feels that the male members are the most important members of the family. We do not feel that the mother is also equally important. Now we start off with another usage called avunculate. In my previous video, I remember telling you that in sociology, you will come across many confusing terms like exogamy, endogamy, polygamy, polygyny, avunculate, amitate, etc. So here, I'm going to explain. Now let us look at the next kinship usage called avunculate. In my previous video, I have already explained to you that in sociology, you have certain terms which are very confusing, because they are similar sounding terms like exogamy, endogamy, polygyny, polygamy, avunculate, amitate, patrilineal, patriarchal, etc. So now I am coming to avunculate, and just to avoid that confusion in your mind, there is a small trick that I would like to share with you. If you look at the word avunculate, then you will see these letters UNCUL. Whenever you study, just underline these letters. Again, I'm repeating UNCUL. Now, if I have to pronounce it or read it out, then the spelling is not correct. Let me again tell you, the spelling is not correct, but I would read it out as uncle. So this is the trick. Avunculate meaning somewhere in this particular content, you will have the mentioning of uncle. So what is this usage? In some societies, maternal uncle. So which uncle we are referring to? Maternal uncle. Maternal here means your mother's brother, all right? Or in our terms, I think the most common term is mama. Mama meaning your mother's brother. What is the role of the mama in some of the societies? Uncle plays a very important role in the life of his sister's child. He not only raises the child, but educates, sometimes transmits property, and for such authority and power that he possesses, this power is also referred to as avuncu-potestality. The word potestal meaning power, authority. So again, it's very, very interesting to note that in some societies, in our societies, mother and father are very, very important. But in this society, apart from the mother and father, the most important person in a child's life is the maternal uncle, is the mama. And during certain occasions, Our mama also has to be present, especially in rice feeding ceremony or especially during marriages and occasions. The presence of mama is very, very strong over there. But in some of the societies, it's not only that the mama comes or the maternal uncle comes once in a while, but his presence is felt throughout, right? Especially in the life of his sister's child. He not only raises the child or educates the child or gets the child married off, so much so he also transmits some of his property to the sister's child. Which means if he can take the life's decision on behalf of the sister's child, for this power, for this authority, we refer it as the avankyu potestality. Now, the opposite of that is amitet, right? Amitet here, if we have maternal uncle on one hand, the opposite of maternal is paternal. The opposite of uncle is aunt. So here we have the paternal aunt. So like I told you, just to help you in removing the confusion, I am asking you to underline the letters in the previous usage that I just explained. UNCUL is not the correct spelling of uncle, but uncle, just for the sound, we are using. So here, amitet, again, A-M-I, ami, just underline before study. Ami is again, it just recalls, that it is used as a girl's name. So here you have a female here in this particular scene somewhere. The female is actually, in some of the societies, paternal aunt. She exercises power over her brother's children. Same like the maternal uncle, she not only raises the child, she not only takes care of her brother's children, but gets them married off and sometimes give her property too. So the work of a father is being performed by an aunt. And again, you might be wondering, my aunt doesn't do all that. But I'm not referring to our society, I'm referring it to some other society. This world is so variant, this world is varied, and it is so different from one another. So therefore, I'm talking about such societies. Here, this female has to be given a title. Just like for all the power that the maternal uncle exercises, we refer to that power as avankyu potestality. Here, because the aunt is doing so much for the brother's children, we give her the title of a female father. She is a female, yet she is performing the duties of a father. Now, this might make you wonder why. Why is the aunt so important in the brother's child's life? These are the reasons why. Daughters are often considered as outsiders after marriage. This happens in most of the societies. Even when a daughter is born, they feel that she is not meant to stay in the family for long. After she gets married, she will go off, and the ties which were there, that bond which was there, will be cut off. Finished. Once you're married, that means she will be treated as a separate individual. But those societies didn't want to do that. Therefore, this was done to keep the relation of the sister with her family. They don't want to cut that tie. They don't want to cut that thread. So what they want to do is, they want the daughter of the family to still be important in her own maternal family. For this reason, they might have developed this particular behavior where they asked the aunt to take care of her brother's children, thereby exercising her authority not only over the children, but also over her maternal family too. Now we come to the last usage. It's called technonymy, and along with the last usage, I'm also going to wrap up today's video lecture. Technonymy has nothing to do with technology. Please do not think that technonymy is something to do with technology. Technonymy here again is a usage which we find among the rural societies in India. This is a typical behavior followed by the Indian people. What is technonymy? Usually followed by rural society members, rural meaning villages, gaon, and especially here, the spouse refer to each other, spouse meaning the husband and wife. they do not call each other by the names. Like if the husband's name is Mohan, the wife will not say, Mohan, please come here. In Gaon, in villages, the spouse, they are referred to each other through the names of the child. So if they have a child whose name is Ram and the husband's name is Mohan, instead of calling him as Mohan, they would say Ram's father or Ram ke pitaji, all right? Or again with the wife also, if the wife's name is Maya, the husband will not say Maya, but the husband will, address her as, let's say, Ram's mother or Ram ka ma, all right? So therefore, this typical usage of calling each other, not by directly addressing the names or they're calling out the names, but using it through indirectly, through the child's name, this is called technonymy. And sometimes we also find this while people call their son-in-law. If the son-in-law's name is, let's say, Siddharth, then instead of calling Siddharth, they use the daughter's name. So they would call, if the daughter's name is Maya, then Siddharth's, let's say, Siddharth's husband, they would say, or the Jamai is not called directly by the name, they use the name of the daughter as well. So with these interesting usages, with these interesting look at the different societies of the world, the behaviors, the practices that they follow, I would like to end today's lecture. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you are liking it too. And until next lecture, stay indoors and save lives. Thank you.